Hi there. So I have a few minutes in between clients, so I wanted to answer a few of your questions. The first one, do I believe that everybody has the potential to become intuitive or become an intuitive eater? And yes, I definitely think that everybody has that ability and potential. It does take being aware of what we do and how we eat throughout the day. Over time, it becomes much more natural, so that you don't, it's not like, like any skill that you learn at first, it's challenging and you have to be aware all the time, and then later you actually can, it's just natural. But I definitely believe everybody has the ability. I would think that there's possibly certain meds, like when I've had clients on Zyprexa back in the day, that made them much more hungry, so they weren't able to tell they were, it was kind of an unnatural hunger. So if there's something like that, that can affect somebody's ability to be intuitive and just eat whatever they want. The other thing is having like PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome. That could be something else that affects somebody's ability to tell their kind of perceive accurate hunger levels. So there's a few illnesses or issues that some people could have that it could affect their ability to tell their hunger fullness. But if they don't have anything like that, yeah, I definitely have seen people and have worked with people who are able to become an intuitive eater, no matter what type of issues they've had in the past. Hi. Another question that you had was, is it more normal in society to be non-intuitive eater or an intuitive eater? And I would say it's more common to be a non-intuitive eater, because everybody believes that there's some magical way to be eating, or they need something outside of themselves to tell them when and what to eat, when really, if they just pay attention and listen, they can totally tell if they're hungry and full. They can tell when they ignore their fullness. They can tell when they ignore their hunger. They can tell when they want to eat because they're stressed out or anxious. So it is definitely more common to be non-intuitive in our culture, because we're so high-paced, fast-paced, and stressed. We tend to use food when we're stressed out, or when we have low dopamine and serotonin levels, because we work, and then we get off of work and we tend to have low impulse control, and we crave foods based on low dopamine, serotonin. Or maybe somebody diets and that caused them to be non-intuitive. There's a variety of reasons that it's more common to be non-intuitive, but it's not natural to be non-intuitive. It is more natural to be intuitive, but it's more common in our culture to be non-intuitive, unfortunately. Hi. So another question you had, we've got a lot of questions, sorry. Does full recovery include intuitive eating? Yes, I believe it definitely does. There's a lot of people who have a level of recovery and they still eat based on rules or guidelines, or they measure things here or there, or they're vegetarian. Not saying that everybody that's a vegetarian is non-intuitive. That's definitely not the case. But it would be more the reason that they follow certain restrictions. And they would only know for themselves if it is intuitive or not intuitive, or if it's tied to diets or wanting to control food. So full recovery definitely does include intuitive eating, and not restricting based on fear of food or what it'll do to somebody's body, or the amount of calories or fat or carbohydrates in it. So full recovery, yes, includes intuitive eating. So I'm going to put these two things together. The one is, there's no online info, or not a lot of people who have succeeded with intuitive eating that you've found online. Now, from what I've seen working in treatment centers throughout the years, is that people who are intuitive eaters don't really care to talk much about food. They kind of get on with their lives. They don't really associate with other people who have eating disorders because they kind of find other people who have eating disorders a little annoying. So I doubt you'd find much on intuitive eating. The only reason I put a lot out there, or some out there on intuitive eating, is because I work in this field. Yes, I had an eating disorder. Yes, I'm an intuitive eater, but would I publish anything if I didn't work in this field? Probably not. There'd be no reason. The other question you had is, have I met people who've managed to eat intuitively? Yes, definitely. I've worked in this field for 15 years now. Mostly just with eating disorder clients, or I would say diagnosable eating disorder clients. But I've also had people who have been really into dieting or overweight, or have an abnormal relationship with food, but wouldn't be clinically diagnosable as an eating disorder. Wouldn't have a diagnosable eating disorder. How about that? So definitely I've met people who are able to intuitively eat. I've met people who have always been intuitive eaters. That's pretty cool. So it's definitely doable. It's something that you can definitely do. You do need to be patient with yourself. You do need to be honest with yourself. It's a deeper than you may think it is, because you have to be intuitive in many other ways than just food. You have to pay attention to what your body wants, kind of finding out who you are as a human and owning it, really. So that's about it. Hopefully that's answered your question. I've never done this way, so hopefully it works out. And I'm glad that you've asked the questions. All right, bye-bye.